In this video, we are going to solve a word problem using some ideas from the 5D process of CPM, but we're going to make it a little more difficult. And if you haven't seen the video before this, I recommend watching that video. So let's take a look here. This was the last problem that we did. Let's move on to a slightly more difficult one. So it says most states in the United States are divided into counties. Some counties are very large, while some are very small. Different states have different numbers of counties. I'm not really sure that we have any numbers for our problem yet, so I don't think we need to write any of that down. Pennsylvania has 5 less than twice as many counties as Oregon. Florida has 1 less county than Pennsylvania. Together, the 3 states have 169 counties. How many counties does each of these 3 states have? So there's a lot of information here, but I'm going to use a 5D style table. Not exactly the 5D process, but similar to it to help me out here. So let's see, Pennsylvania has 5 less than twice as many counties as Oregon. So I've got these 3 states. I've got Pennsylvania. I'm going to move this up actually, so I have a little more room to work. I've got Pennsylvania. I've got Florida, and I've got Oregon. Now, Oregon is tricky because the letter O is going to look like a 0. So if that ever happens to you, or if you ever have a problem where there are 2 P's like this, you can always write the second letter. So I'm going to actually write OR like that. And I'll know that that stands for Oregon and not the letter 0. So the number 0. So and when you add them all together, they have 169 counties. So I'll write little plus signs here. Okay, so P plus F plus O, OR equals the total. So that should be an equal sign. Okay, so let's go ahead and write down the rest of this information. We got this sentence, check. We know that it's asking for the counties in each. And let's see, Florida has 1 less county than Pennsylvania. Florida is going to be 1 less than Pennsylvania, so that's going to be P minus 1. Okay, that's good. And then Pennsylvania has 5 less than twice as many as Oregon. So Pennsylvania is going to be twice as many as Oregon, but it's also going to be 5 less than that. So we have 2 OR minus 5. Huh. And then OR, they didn't tell us anything. So I'm just going to write OR underneath Oregon. All right, now taking a look at this, this is a little trickier because in the last problem, I only had 1 variable, it was F for Florida, right? In this situation, I actually have 2 different variables here, right? I've got OR, but I also have a P right here. And I have 2 ORs. I wonder if we can get rid of the P by being creative. I wonder if we can turn the OR, I wonder if we can turn the P into an OR value. Well, it says P minus 1. What is P? Well, P is 2 OR minus 5. So instead of P minus 1, maybe I can say 2 OR minus 5 minus 1 and replace that like that. That way, I would only have OR as my 1 variable, and I can solve a 1 variable equation. Now, in this video, I am not going to write the steps to solving a 1 variable equation. You can find that in a couple of my other videos, but you should kind of know these by now by this point. So we're going to add all of these together, and they should equal 169. Let's go ahead and add them together to create an equation. We've got 2 OR minus 5 plus 2 OR minus 5 minus 1 plus OR equals 169. First step so we have 1 variable now. We're going to solve for 1 variable, OR, okay? The first step in solving for 1 variable is to combine like terms and simplify. So I've got some like terms here. I've got a like term here. I've got 2 OR, and OR. So 2 plus 1 is going to be 5 OR. And then I've got the constants. I've got -5, -5, and -1. So -5 and -5 is going to be -10. -1 is going to be -11. We've got 5 OR minus 11 equals 169. All right, I combined like terms and simplified, and now I'm ready for the next step, which is to move all of the x values to one side. Well, all of my variables are on one side already. The ORs are all on the left side, so that step is already done as well. Now I need to get the variable alone. I need to get x alone. Well, OR has two numbers that need to go away in order for it to be alone. We need to get rid of the -11, and we need to get rid of the 5. Let's go ahead and get rid of the, I'm going to rewrite this up here, actually. Yeah, I'm going to rewrite this up here. So 5 OR minus 11 equals 169. We need to get rid of the 11. Let's get rid of the 11 first by adding 11. And we need to add it to the other side. 5 OR equals, this is going to carry. So we have 5 OR equals 180. We need to get rid of the 5. We can do so by dividing. I know I'm moving pretty quickly, but I explain what we're doing in these steps in other videos, so please watch those first. So OR equals 180 divided by 5. Well, 180 divided by 5, let's go ahead and do a little bit of long division here. 5 goes into 1, no, 5 goes into 18. How many times? It goes in 3 times. 5 goes into 36 times. Oh, awesome. There's nothing left down there, so 36 is going to be our answer. So we are not done with the problem, right? We know that Oregon has 36 counties, so Oregon now has 36 counties. But we also need to plug in the Oregon value to figure out Pennsylvania's counties and Florida's counties. So let's plug in 36 times 2. We've got 2 times 36 minus 5. Using PEMDAS or order of operations, 2 times 36, that's going to get me what, 72? But let's just be careful. 36 times 2. Got 72 minus 5. 72 minus 5. Let's be careful. You can definitely do that mentally. But let's just be super careful here. Turn that into a 12, going to turn that into a 6. 12 minus 5 is 7, so 67. So Pennsylvania will have 67 counties. And this for Florida is going to be 2 OR minus 5 minus 1. So 2 OR is, we know that 2 OR is 72. And minus 5 minus 1 is going to be minus 6. So 72 minus 6. 72 minus 6 is just going to be 1 less than this right here, right? So 72 minus 6 is going to be 66. Always putting our units. Now, before we say, all right, I'm finished with this, I got it. Before we write in our declare section, Pennsylvania has 67 counties. Florida has 66 counties. Oregon has 36 counties, which would be our final answer. Let's go ahead and check. We're going to check again, like the last problem, by adding them together to make sure that they add up to 169. So I'm going to write 67, 66. Let's go ahead and just add these two together. So that's going to be 133. And I'm going to add that to 36. I'm going to get 169. Oh, great. So we definitely got the right number of counties for each of these states. So that's how you use a table that's kind of similar to the 5D process and some other ideas that are similar to the 5D process in order to solve word problems. And in this case, we started with 2 variables, but we replaced one of the variables with an expression, right? We had, for Florida, we had P minus 1. We changed that into OR terms by doing some substitution. So that's a great strategy, and you're probably going to need to use that in some word problems. Yeah,